Alright, so let's talk about Arcadia of my youth. So, this is a Japanese anime movie based on the character Captain Harlock, created by Leiji Matsumoto. And yeah, it's supposed to be part of the Leiji verse. So basically, it's in the same universe as Galaxy Express 999, which I reviewed one of the movies for that some years ago now. So let's see. Yeah, apparently the guy made like a bunch of anime based around this whole space war opera thing. But anyway, so yeah. Hold on a sec. So, you'll have to bear with me because A, I barely know anything about the Captain Harlock franchise, and B, there's a lot of very complex little details in this story. I mean, the general story is kind of straightforward. There's an alien, what was it, an empire, or hold on, I'm trying to read the plot here. Yeah, there's some alien race that took over the planet Earth as well as this other planet, and they've kind of been making trades between the two planets, and enslaved all the inhabitants in the process of both planets. So yeah. Obviously the conflict is against this alien race. Let's see. I guess along the way, the titular Harlock, he let's see. He's a descendant of Captain Phantom F. Harlock, and who gets lost in the Owen Stanley Mountains. This is a very complex story. It's got a lot of little details, and I'm sure they packed a lot of plot stuff from the original anime, so yeah, there's a lot to unpack in terms of the story. There's a definitive enough cast of characters. Obviously we got Captain Harlock, this stoic, somewhat angsty, but also, overall honorable pirate character. And, I think he starts out, working for, what are the aliens' names again? Takargans, or, wait, yeah. So anyway, yeah, the Takargans, he's working for them, and then later on he turns on them, becomes a pirate, or I forget if he's already a pirate or what. It's, yeah. This, it's not a bad movie for the uninitiated to the series, but there's gonna be a lot to unpack at the very least. So along the way he meets this Japanese well, let me see, what is he at the beginning? Okay, so yeah, he meets up with this beggar from Japan named Toshiro. But, you know, even though he's a stranger, he somehow feels like he knows them, and then they find out that they're like descendants of two identical dudes who fought in like World War II, yeah. So, yeah, pretty confusing actually, but yeah. I mean, Toshiro is pretty likable overall. He's a pretty loyal and, you know, resourceful scientist character. And, yeah. I mean, there are, like, one or two scenes where he, like, shows himself as, like, this goofy comic relief. Like, at one point, he basically shows himself as a pervert. I mean, he, like, just eagerly jumps on some lady's giant posterior. And then, yeah. So there's a few weird, you know, anime moments in here, but they're pretty scarce compared to most of the other movies I've looked at. Let's see. Queen Emeraldus. Hold on, I'm trying to remember who that is. I mean, there's several female characters, but, you know, they all have kind of a similar design. Like, they don't look exactly the same, but, you know, they have the same body type, and, you know, the main difference is one's blonde, one's got brown hair, and the other's a robot, you know. Actually, the robot's also got blonde hair, so yeah. Let's see. Okay, yeah, Emeraldus is like, yeah, she's the pirate queen. So, yeah, I guess she's the one who, I guess, Harlock answers to later in the series, although, again, I don't know a whole lot. Let's see. Maya is kind of Harlock's, you know, love interest, and she's kind of a, she's one of those rebellious, or, you know, she's a very nice, sweet lady, but she's also rebellious. You know, she's like doing these rebellious little, what do you call them? The words, I hate when words are like at the tip of my tongue, but I can't even remember what the word is. Broadcast, I guess. You know, she has this radio broadcast where she, like, encourages the rebels and, you know, sings to them and stuff. And then La Mime, La Mime, the robot I brought up a moment ago, you know, she's kind of your typical, you know, analytical machine character. And yeah, let's see, I forget who Zeta, if I remember correctly, Zeta's the commander of the, hold on. God, I'm trying to look through the plot here. Yeah, yeah, I think, well, anyway, yeah, there's various, you know, side characters, and And, they all give enough to the story, I guess. Well, most of them. Some of them might, or some of the antagonists might feel a little superfluous, but it's not, it's not really that big a deal. There's, the commander of the other army, or the Takargans. He's like not straight up evil. He actually does kind of have a sense of honor, and so yeah, he's not a straight up bad guy. He's like the main antagonist of the movie, but he's not as evil as some of the other guys in that race. His assistant is, a bit more, yeah, a bit nastier. And yeah. And then there's like another guy who kind of takes over at the end, or I forget if he like takes over, or if he's like already like, let's see, yeah, Trider is the, anyway, I mean, it's kind of hard to pick apart the story itself and even some of the characters, but overall I thought the movie was, epic enough. It had a good scope to it. The story, there's a powerful enough conflict going on. It does get pretty dramatic and intense. At times it gets a little too much, honestly. It's a lot to, like, take in, because without giving too much away, there's a couple scenes in a row, partway into the movie, where, like, quite a handful of characters are dying, and, like, several of them are, like, kind of main or secondary characters. Yeah, it does get pretty dark and, yeah, a bit morbid. But yeah, I think they do a good job, like, expressing the direness and the bleakness of the whole situation, but, the characters never give up hope or anything. So yeah, it's very dramatic, very, pretty dark. But yeah, I think, yeah, they did a good job overall. And yeah, again, I'm trying to find, like, more meaningful things, deeper stuff to talk about here. I mean, I guess ultimately the story is, some alien race has taken over Earth and some other planet, and yeah, the conflict is against this alien race. So, yeah, I don't know if there's a whole lot to say, although I guess this whole thing about the ancestry of our two main protagonists, Harlock and Toshiro, it does have a lot to take in, and some of the characters you might confuse for other characters. Again, the women have similar designs. Some of the Takargans look pretty similar. Yeah, it is a lot, but I think the movie does a good enough job getting across the conflict and overall size and scope of this whole war and rebellion going on. So, ultimately, yeah, I did legitimately like the movie. But yeah, it is quite a bit. So, as it is, if you're looking for something simple and straightforward, this movie's not going to be for you. But, if you're, like, a fan of or, at the very least, if you're uninitiated with Captain Harlock, this isn't a bad introduction. It kind of tells you, the, basically the story behind everything. So yeah, and yeah, if you're a fan of, like, sci-fi anime, I think you'll probably like the movie. And yeah, I mean, Captain Harlock's a pretty cool protagonist. Yeah, I mean, if you're an anime fan or a fan of this, Leiji Matsumoto, well, I guess if you're a fan of his, there's the risk that maybe they took some liberties. I don't know, but, ultimately, as somebody who isn't familiar with the original anime, I thought they overall did a good job kind of getting the story across in this. Yeah. Even if there are elements that are a bit confusing, but still. You get the gist of everything. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give this movie an 8 out of 10. And, I guess as usual, if there's anything I feel I need to add, I'll put it in the comments. And I'll go ahead and leave it at that for now. Mash it and smash it, signing off.